Alright, well, the restoration starts now. I'm going to start with this. Before I put the steering wheel back on, it'd be good to sort out the binnacle. Just one screw really. Dusty. Yeah, these plugs are always a pain. So I use a flat bladed screwdriver. Push the pin in from the other side. There we go. And then this one has got a bit you need to depress. There we go. There's the binnacle. Yeah, only got 1 foot left on it. What can we see on the back here? November 2006. So yeah, so November, yeah. October 2006. Won't see anything on there, it'll have a print on the back, but yeah, most of the last run out, sort of 2006 300 TDIs, a lot of the parts printed November and October. So this one's a pain. Let's see if I can prise it a bit. Oh yeah, that's not doing too bad. Maybe lack of corrosion. Oh yeah, nice. What have we got going on here? So there are a few wires I want to sort out, like that's a permanent potentially. Tapped into a permanent and it's a loose. I'm going to replace this bit here. It comes up and over and across because this is snapped off and this one's snapped off. Yeah, that definitely needs screwing in a bit more, which means you've got to take this out to get to it. You've got to take that out and therefore that out. So that's going to be a complete dismantle of the dashboard to do all that. Am I in the mood? That's the question. Have I got enough time left today? So I've pretty much got all the dashboard screws, and then it comes down to trying to figure out which one's which. I mean, I'm probably going to go to the level like that's the wrong screw, for example. There's a missing screw there. I'm probably going to go to the level of trying to work out what's the right screw for which position. Right, that's the old one, and here's the one I've been donated. You can tell how knackered this original one is. You know, this is snapped off, that's snapped off, this is cracking where they put a screw in. I think they've also tried to screw in down here from above to hold it, because once these tags are off, there's nothing to hold the top of the top on there. It's quite weighty, this thing, probably weighs 2 kilos. Right, so I've got to swap the gauges over. I think I'm going to swap these bits over at least so there's like an original bit still on there, even though I've got these bits from the one, that new one. And I think replace the O-rings in the back as well. There's the loom. I think as well I'm going to do some photos so I can document for LR Workshop when it's all out. O-rings are all shot, so I'm going to buy some more of those. They're quite thicker. This one's quite thin actually. I've already got some of these. So there is our first problem. These Torx screws are smaller than T10. Sorry, I tell a lie, that's T15 and there should be a T10. Thank you, Stanley multi-tool that I've never used. Hello, does that come off as well? Interesting. Huh. Never actually taken one of these apart. Ta-da! They're the same. No, they are not the same. It's good to know. There we go. All disassembled for the bin. No, I'm going to keep it as memorabilia. Right, so I'm going to have to get some O-rings. And I'm going to take the opportunity to photograph all this. So there's wiring in. It's got a little bit of damage on there, on the earth. That's probably from the screw coming down or something. Where would that be? Over this side? Yeah, could have got caught from being around here, potentially. So it's worth taping up, I think. What I do need to have a look at, or I do want to have a look at, is how this wiring's been done. Because if that's a permanent and it's just got a dodgy bit of wire, I mean, there's no battery at the moment, so interesting. That's a fantastic bit of wiring, that is. I wonder what that's for. That, I mean, the electrical stuff in here that's been taken out is the Kodan radio, which has been connected here, and then the thingy on the front. I think it's still got the, I don't exactly know at the moment, but it's how everything's wired, or where the wires come in from. I think it's still got the wires that go down to the aerial, and it would probably take power to it as well. But what's that for? Why has that got a plug there? No, it wouldn't be a speed limiter. Some of these vehicles did have speed limiters, but I don't think this one, because they would have an ECU in the battery box, and they'd have a mechanical kind of control thing with a solenoid in it for the throttle cable. And I've seen that, but they were fitted, I think, in the years after. This one went out in 2008, kind of the 2012, 13 vehicles that were supplied then were modded with speed limiters, so I don't think there's anything related to that. But we're taking a permanent feed, we've got a earth, and I guess that's ignition. Yeah, it's got an ignition there, so could be anything really. But it doesn't serve any value. It just potentially reduces the reliability of the vehicle, because we've got a permanent just wandering around in the back here, which can earth on body work. Yeah, look at that. What I'm hoping is the wire's intact and they've just pulled the sheathing back. Let me take a photo of this before I lose the evidence. So I'll be honest, I don't think this was done in the original kind of mods where it had the, all this stuff fitted originally. I think this has been put in later for something, which I don't know what. Good, right, so that's intact, which means in theory I can just put a sleeve over that. If I get these pins out, and I can put a heat shrink on. That's good, but this definitely needs sorting out. Good, same thing. I mean, that's the equivalent of a Scotch block without actually using a Scotch block. And in this sense, it's better because it doesn't actually cut the wire. And the earth, which doesn't actually have a problem being, I mean, that one's at least tied up, but it's better, I think, just to remove the whole lot. Doesn't serve any purpose. And even if I was going to reinstate something which needed a permanent feed and an ignition, then I would try and do it properly. Wow. There we go. That is some A-grade wiring, that is. So even though this thing's blooming original, I still can't avoid electrical bodgery that we've all inherited in all our Defenders at some point. Right. So that's worth a repair. Need to trim that back a bit. It looks like it's been melted off maybe. Just thought what I can do is test how to get the pins out. That's the right one, yeah. There. I just did it off camera. Clip that back in. I've used this one. Little stubby. Goes in underneath the pin. So there's one here for the bottom pin, one there for the top pin. There we go. Okay, that was good practice. Let's go over do it for real. So these three, luckily they're all along the same row, so I only have to deal with one side. I just take a photo so I know which one I'm pulling them out of. Oh, I hate this thing. Where's it gone? Last one. Make sure the pin's pushed all the way in. Tang flap. There we go. Get them where I can see them. Alright, so we'll get some heat shrink on that, I think. Just get this bit of trim down. Is the heat shrink gonna go over? Nope. That'll do it. Twist. There we go. Nice. Very nice. Yes, so purples off over there, and black then white with a stripe. So, ooh, it's nice and warm down here on this dash. Clip, 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 no bridges. There we go. Nice little repair, that one. Very happy with that. Not going to get any shorting from there.